Good morning. Welcome to Bob's Coffee Chat. I'm really excited to have Shelley Golden today. She is a Zoom makeover expert. Shelley is an international personal branding consultant, fashion stylist, and certified color consultant with more than 20 years of experience and is the owner of Shelley Golden Style. And as a result of COVID-19, Shelley created the Zoom Makeover, a 5-step process to help you up-level your online screen presence to create a more professional image, and also to increase your engagement, improve your rapport with your client. And by balancing psychology and art, Shelley helps you elevate your brand by aligning everything in your Zoom box. So Shelley, I am going to turn the presentation over to you. Whoops, there you go.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
There you go.
Thanks so much. Let me just close some of my chat box because I don't need to see the chat. So I am super glad to be here. I just want to give you a little bit of background, how I started this and why I'm doing this. At the beginning of COVID, actually it was before COVID, I was going to do a workshop with a woman that I had met, a business coach. And our first day to talk about this workshop we were going to do was March 16th, which was the day California closed down where we live. So I very easily kind of transferred and said, well, hey, I could just help people look their best in their Zoom box as opposed to looking their best, feeling confident in person. I could do that online. That seemed to be a little bit of a no-brainer for me. And I started doing this and people were saying, wow, the information you have is great. And then I realized I needed a page on my website. And right now it's about 90% of my business. I've been working with companies. I've been working with individuals, organizations. I spoke 2 weeks ago at the Carnegie Foundation. I'm working with Dell, Intel, on to help them up-level their online screen presence of their company, their employees, their brand. So I have a slide presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you, talking about the Zoom Makeover. So let me share my screen with right now, and give me just a second. Okay, can you see? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, excellent. All right, so this is me. The name of my company is Shelley Golden Style. And just kind of a little bit about me is as I'm going to stop sharing again, is I lived in Amsterdam for 10 years. I lived in Abu Dhabi as well for another 4 or 5 years. But when I lived in Amsterdam, one of the things that I was fortunate enough to do was to study the European artists, and in particular, the Dutch masters. And so like an artist figures out where they want you to look first, and then where they want you to look second. So where they want the eye to travel, and that's what I do, is in your new business card, which is your new online business card, this is what people see. This is your new business card. If you go buy a house, Bob, when you're helping people, you're not just buying the house, you're buying the whole curb appeal. And that's what it is that I do. So let me continue sharing, and I'm going to go through my presentation. Okay, what we're going to talk about is to help you up-level your online screen presence. And this is an example of a Zoom makeover, kind of before and after. You can see the premise of what I do is to help people increase engagement with their clients, their colleagues, whoever it is they're speaking with, to improve their confidence, to know that they look good online, and to elevate their brand. I'm going to continue going through. The Zoom Makeover actually is a 5-step process that I take people through. It's camera angle, lighting, because lighting is the most important thing. It's the first thing everyone notices. Background, kind of that's the background of your painting. What color clothing works best on you in your space? I'm a certified color consultant, so I'm really particular about color and the juxtaposition of color. And for women and those who wear makeup, Zoom specific makeup techniques to help create a bullseye on your face to show people where to look and help improve engagement. So this is an example of at the beginning of COVID, what most people looked like. It's exhausting to look at people. You're looking at, like, some people are ghostly, some people are in the dark, some people have glare in their glasses. The angle is wrong. You're looking up their nose. They're at the bottom of the box of a floating head. It's stressful to look at it. It's fatiguing to look at. What I aim for is this. Notice it's easier on the eye. It's more relaxing. You don't have to think as hard when you're looking at everybody in their Brady Bunch boxes, in their Hollywood Squares boxes. Notice the light is even, for the most part, is even on their face, both left and right. There's a little bit of space above their head. You could actually see the color of some of their eyes. And the bottom of the box, for the most part, is at their armpits. I prefer it a little bit lower. For women, I say you want to have the bottom of the box above your nipple line. For men, you can kind of go to your diaphragm, because you don't want the fullest part of your bust, women, at the bottom of the box, because trust me, it'll look bigger than it actually is. So you want to be above the nipple line. You want to have the camera directly in front of your eyes. That's what you're aiming for. This way, it feels like people are just sitting on the other side of the table having a conversation. You're not looking at the ceiling. You're not looking at the floor. Oops, I missed.
Shelley, you muted yourself by mistake.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Let's go through the steps step by step. Step one, camera angle. If you can see somebody's ceiling, if they can see your ceiling, that means they're looking down at their computer, which is on their desk, and you're looking up their nose, under their chin, onto their ceiling. You don't want that.
Shelley, did it again.
I don't know why I keep muting.
Okay, I'll keep you on tabs.
Oh, thank you. Here's the opposite situation. Here's somebody, we're looking down at her leopard carpet, which means the camera is too high. We're looking on top of her head. If you were having a conversation with somebody, unless you were standing up, you wouldn't be looking on top of somebody's head. It's diminutive. It doesn't give them the power and authority they want when they're having a conversation. Sometimes what you might need is a laptop stand to raise your computer. You could also put it on boxes. Reams of paper are also really great to raise up your computer to get that camera at eye level. Here's a couple of different brands that you can buy that have laptop stands. The thing that's great about it is it could actually go to a vertical position that you could put your iPad on. So your iPad's not leaning over to the side looking up at the ceiling, but you might need to have an external keyboard. So just word of warning to the wise. Step two, lighting. Lighting is the first thing everybody notices. They notice if you're in the light, they notice if you're in the dark, they notice if you have light on just half of your face. So you want the light to come in straight in on your face, but you don't necessarily want it just from your computer. I'm going to be showing you a number of before and afters and clients that I've worked with. This is one client that we did a Zoom makeover, which is usually about 90 minutes for an individual. Her big issue was this light coming in from the back because she was backlit. It's very clear. You could see she's at her desk on the left, the computer's on the right, and she's in the dark. What you cannot tell is that she actually has a bright green sweater on. Why is this happening? The camera picks up white and light first and darkens everything else to counterbalance the light into the lens. So whatever is light will not be killer white. We did a Zoom makeover. This is actually her final look. This is her after. It's about 90 minutes later. She happened to have this screen that she used for in-person events. We set it up. The only thing she needed to do was cover the light, the can light that was directly over her head, which she didn't feel like crawling on a ladder at that time, but you could see her eyes, you could see her face. We were talking about what color clothing works best for her in her space. It's inviting and you can engage with her. She feels confident and her brand has been elevated. Here's another client. Again, you could see looking on the left, it's bright daylight outside. So you do not want to have any lights on behind you, because again, the camera picks up whatever is white and light first and darkens everything else. Turn off the lights behind you. You want the lights shining on your face. What's ideal, of course, not everybody can do it, is if you can sit facing a window. You don't have to be right next to the window like this, but if you can face the window, you're going to have the best light on your face because you have the full spectrum of colors coming from daylight. You know, you could be at the back of the room. It doesn't really matter, you know, and I get it. Not everybody can face a window. Like I actually have a big sliding glass door on my left, and I compensate with additional lighting. Let's talk a little bit about lights and how to position them and what lights might work for you. Take a look at the picture on the right. Look at the clock in particular. Notice where the hands are. They're at 10 and 2. That's how you want to position your lights if you wear glasses. There's a big difference on lighting whether you wear glasses or not. So that's ideal if you wear glasses. Take a look at the light that's on her left. Personally, I think it looks like she's on her knees, leaning on a bed, which is very, very odd if you really look at the picture. So the light that's on her left, it's a little bit higher than her eyes and it's angled downward and it's on her left, which would mean it's at 10 o'clock. Ideally, she'd want to have another light at 2 o'clock on her right. Again, angled downward, a little bit forward, so that when you angle it downward, it actually softens the light on your face. That particular light is a 6-inch ring light, which is a great size for video conferencing. There's 2 different brands, the Uhuru, the Ayer. They both have extendable stands up to 51 and 54 inches, great light. You know, this week they might have it on Amazon, next week they don't. Looking on the left, a lot of people have seen these 4-inch ring lights, but what makes it new is they finally figured out that they should put it on a stand, as opposed to, for the first year of COVID, there was a big clip. But all these lights have warm, neutral, cool. Always put it on the warm setting. We have enough blue light coming off of the computer to compensate that is making everybody look a little bit ashy. You always look a little bit sick. So by putting your lights on warm, it'll counterbalance that blue light. If you do not wear glasses, I would suggest the Lume Cube. It's a great light. It has a suction cup. You could put it on the side of your computer. You could put it on the center. You can move it around. But I would turn the light down because it feels a little bit spotlighting. It does have a cover that you could put on to diffuse the light, which is great. It's a really great light. But if you have glasses, it's a no-go. And this is my cheap and easy hack. To create a better skin tone. It also helps get rid of that whitewashed look that you have when you point all of these lights to you. So I'm a color consultant. So by mixing this bright fuchsia and yellow Post-it, this, by the way, is my light that's on my right. If you mix these 2 colors of Post-its covering your lights, you get a peachy color, which is really the perfect color to create a more balanced, natural colored skin tone. And it doesn't matter whether you're dark skinned or light skinned, it's the correct color balance to counterbalance the blue light coming off of your computer. This is cheap, this is easy, trust me, it works. Here is the Zoom makeover. I'm going to go over a number of Zoom makeovers, and I'm just going to tell you a couple of things that I did that that are easy, things that you can do to also help you understand what works, what doesn't, easy things that you can do. So this woman is a vice president at Intel. And this was pretty much a year ago, April, right after COVID. You know, a lot of people didn't know what to do, but you could see we're looking at the ceiling. But I want to share with you 3 lighting amendments that I made. One, the elephant in the room was that incredible glare. Very simply, I had her take 3 pieces of white printer paper and tape it in the window. That was it. That got rid of the glare. And if you look on the before picture, you could see a glare on her forehead. That's because there's another high window in front of her. And with that, she had her kid's art project on pink construction paper. And I'm like, sure, throw it in the window. Let's see how it looks. And it was great. It actually pinked her up a little bit, and it gave her a more natural skin tone. She took this after picture about 5 days later, because I had her order one of the small 4-inch ring lights for her right side only, because she had all these other windows on the left. But you could see, you can engage with her more. You could see her face. Her brand has been elevated. I then worked with her team of 120 people in Malaysia, Japan, UK, and the US in more of a presentation group format. And so that is something that I do as well. I'm working with companies and organizations. Let's go to step 3. What does your background say about you? And as I said earlier, this is your new business card. This is what people see you. This is how they see you. They're looking at your background. Is it virtual? Is it your bedroom? Is it your kitchen? Are you in the garage? It's really important. People will trust you more if you have a real background versus a virtual background. Take a look at this picture. What is the very first thing you see? And then what is the second thing you see? Where do your eyes go next? Well, for me, the first thing I see is her eyes and her face, because first of all, she's taking up a lot of real estate, and you want your face to be taking up a lot of real estate. So people are forced to look at your face. Secondly, then my eyes kind of go down her chest a little bit, and I see the beautiful color top, and I'm like, hey, that's the same color as her eyes. So now my eyes are going back and forth between her eyes and her torso and her eyes. And that's exactly where you want your eyes to be. You want to see someone's face, you want to see their eyes, you want to see their torso to read their nonverbal communication, because that's what we're missing on Zoom. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's talk about her background. I think it's vital to have some sort of green, some sort of plant if you're at home. It's more welcoming. It helps you welcome people into your home. She's got the trees on the right. She's got these beautiful orchids on the left. Now, if those orchids were red, that would be the first thing you see, but they're not. They're white. They're subtle. They blend in. One of the things that I do with all my clients is I try to help people focus on your eyes by creating subliminal lines. And there are a couple of them here. Notice the blinds in the top of the door. It's dark in the white space. It's actually acting like a subliminal line pointing to her eyes. And you have another one coming in on the right. It's helping you, showing you where to focus. I'm a big believer on putting plants, especially so many people are on a white wall. Put some type of plant. It's just more welcoming. It's not as stark. And again, if the camera picks up all this white on the wall behind you, it's darkening you, and that's not what you want. Oops. Whoa, that didn't work. Let's try this. Here's another. You could see the glare in the glasses. It's a little bit disruptive when you see the glare in the glasses. And also when I first started looking, I kept looking at the right going, what are those things on the right? Are they her kids' artwork? Are they posters? Are they maps? And I was distracted. Also looking at the calendar on the left, like, I wonder if that's her marketing calendar. In the meantime, I'm distracted. You want all the attention to be on you. You don't want people's eyes to be wandering at your artwork and things that are around you. I have a couple of Zoom makeovers that I'm going to go through now. So this woman is a dietitian. Very clearly in the before picture, you could see we're looking on top of her head, down at her leopard carpet. But her big problem that she told me about was the window behind her, that in the late afternoon, she had way too much light coming in. So that was her big elephant in the room. In the meantime, I kept looking at the thing on the left going, what is that thing on the left? It's actually a light fixture. I'm like, okay, lose the light fixture, take the little stool with it. And what do you have in your home that we could put in the window? I didn't think she'd come back with a painting that fit perfectly in the window frame. That was a total fluke, which worked out perfectly. It literally looks like a painting with a frame around it. I then had her move the leather chair over that was behind her to the empty space, which was now a very shiny brown leather chair. And we upholstered it, ha, 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 with the backside of a duvet cover she had in her linen closet, put a pillow on it, which worked perfectly because it blended in with the painting, straightened out the bookshelf, put some makeup on. And the only thing she really needed to do after her 90-minute Zoom makeover was to purchase a light for the left side of her face, just to balance out the lighting. She had a can light over her head, which is about 20 feet high, so it was really difficult to get to. Here's another Zoom makeover. This woman is an executive business coach. Very clearly, you could see we closed the blinds, we changed the lighting and the camera position. But what I want to show you, I want to point out here are two things on the back wall. One, is the artwork. The artwork she had glass on it. And once we changed the lighting, there was an incredible glare. So we changed it to a painting that had no glass. For those of you who have certificates, diplomas on the wall behind you, my guess is they are really not benefiting you in a Zoom setting for your online screen presence. They're probably, the glass is reflecting the light and nobody can read your diploma. It just looks like a white square in a frame. Change that off on your wall. Additionally, in terms of plants and flowers, we did a really simple change. I had her change the black ceramic vase to a clear glass vase, and notice the difference. It literally lifts up the whole right-hand side of her frame, of her Zoom frame, and it's more welcoming. It doesn't feel like there's a black hole. When you have dark things in your background, they act as a black hole. Here's another woman who had a physical virtual backdrop that she purchased online. Let me just check my time. I'm going to finish in 5 minutes. We raised the camera. The bookshelf was actually her storage shelf. We put some books on it, brought in a plant from a different room, and really the whole, you don't feel like you have to cock your head when you listen to her. And she was giving a presentation to over 100 people the next day. Much easier for them to look at her at. Here's two more subliminal lines. One, I had him turn the plant around 180 degrees because our eyes read from left to right. Another subliminal line, looking up to his eyes. And if you have books on a bookshelf, angle those books down from tallest to shortest, especially if it's near your eyes. He had a really busy bookshelf. The whole top was storage, tchotchkes, all kinds of decoratives and pictures reflecting the light. Additionally, his clothing, because that's going to be the next step. Here's an example of why clothing color matters. He started off this Zoom makeover in a white shirt and a navy blazer. He blended in with the door with his white shirt, and the navy blazer came out looking black. By changing his clothing to a light blue shirt and a brighter blue blazer, that is what you see first. You see his face and his torso, even though he has a very busy home office, but that's what you want. You want all the attention to be on you. You want to be the main event. Step 4, clothing. What color looks best on you and your surroundings? I often say no white, no black. When you wear white, that's the first thing people see. You want them to see your face. If you wear black, they'll see your face, but they don't see your body language. So that's really important. You want to wear solid colors is my suggestion. You want to be in the center frame. It acts like a color block that people can focus in on you on. You want to stay away from patterns. They're too distracting. Guys, if you wear large plaids, it's a little distracting. Stay with solid colors. And lastly, Zoom specific makeup. I often say to women, put some lipstick on. It literally helps create a bullseye. If you have glasses, you want to wear glasses with a frame or pencil in your eyebrows. And I have some other makeup techniques that I'm going to just zoom by over here. And let's just talk about the benefits of a Zoom makeover very quickly. It helps increase your bottom line, increase your client engagement because people can focus in on you. It helps up-level your personal brand. You appear more trustworthy if people can feel like you're sitting across the table from them. And for Zoom makeovers, I do 3 different things. I work with individuals in a 90-minute session. I do small group workshops in companies. I go into companies and work with groups of 4 to 5 participants. I also do corporate presentations to companies and organizations. So if you have a company that you think would benefit from a type of presentation similar to this, or a small group workshop that we literally in real time go through all the 5 steps. I have today a special offer for you if you're interested in an individual Zoom makeover plus a 30-minute image and wardrobe consultation, either for you or somebody else, for $395. And I'll put that information in the chat if this is something that interests you. I also have a free guide. It's 12 tips to improve your online screen presence. It's just a checklist. It's super helpful, really beneficial, just so you can kind of go through, what's important, what's not. And when you want to inspire, make an impact, and have people pay attention to you and what you're saying, everything really needs to be in alignment. I just want to go back. I do have this Combat Zoom Fatigue webinar on Tuesday. I put the information in the chat already. With that, I thank you very much. I am more than happy to take some questions, but I don't know.
Well, thank you, Shelley. I mean, that will finish our recorded portion of the session. And so I'll stop the recording and we'll open it up to questions.
Let's see, does anybody have any